greet from 3:30 to 4:45 p.m. Again, that's Contact in the Desert goes virtual this year, and that's Friday, June 25th. For full details, go to coasttocoastam.com. All right, back to more of your calls. Open lines continues. Clear on till morning, right here on Coast to Coast AM.
UFOs are back, and even the military can't explain them. Now Rob Schmidt takes a look at the big mystery in his series, UFOs, Are They Really Here? Airing all this week on Newsmax TV. Millions are watching Newsmax. It's on all the major cable systems, and they're downloading the free Newsmax app straight to their smartphones. Get the latest on these strange UFOs and watch Rob Schmidt on Newsmax, the new network everyone is talking about. Newsmax TV. It's great to watch. I watch it all the time. Credit Karma Money is a new checking account that lets you win daily instant Karma purchase reimbursements on items up to $5,000. And when you make a purchase between June 8th and June 30th, you'll be entered to win $1 million. Visit creditkarma.com/winmoney. Instant Karma is sponsored by Credit Karma. No purchase necessary. Exclusions and terms apply. See rules. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc., member FDIC. Maximum balance and transfer limits apply.
Do you suffer from lower back pain, knee pain, foot pain, or fallen arches? Do you? If yes, just stop and write this magic word, G-Defy, G-D-E-F-Y. What is G-Defy? G-Defy is the footwear designed by Gravity Defier Medical Technology with the worldwide patented VersoShock sole. Their shoes are clinically shown to relieve pain by a double-blind clinical study conducted by Olive View UCLA Medical Center. You can try a pair for 30 days with free corrective fit orthotic inserts. If you're not satisfied, just return the shoes for a full refund and keep the free orthotics as a gift. Put an end to suffering. Save $20 and get free shipping from Gravity Defier when you go to gdefy.com/radio and use code RADIO. That's gdefy.com/radio, code RADIO. You have nothing to lose but your pain.
East of the Rockies, Don is in Kent, Ohio. Don, good evening, good morning, welcome.
Oh, Brother Richard, hey, thank you so much and happy Sabbath. You know, I've been looking on the news about what's going on, the wildfires out west, and now we have a hurricane forming in the Gulf of Mexico that's going to generate something like 7 to 15 inches of rain. And I'm thinking we just lost the contract for the Keystone XL pipeline. Why don't we move those jobs down to the, actually down into Louisiana and start a pipeline there? You know, it's interesting that in Ohio we have over 50,000 prisoners. They're just sitting around languishing in these jail cells, and if we just got 30,000 of them and give them a shovel under the Obama shovel-ready jobs, if these guys would just dig 10 foot a day, you're doing, 60 miles a day on just prison help alone, let alone with these guys know how to run, trenching machines. I mean, we've been putting up with, this weather conditions since before this country was a country. And in the Bible, Genesis 1:26 says, we're to have dominion over the earth. In other words, control. And we dropped the ball big time. What say you?
Well, I agree. I mean, I think oil and gas are going to be with us for a long time. This idea of, of reaching zero emissions by 2050, I think is a pipe dream, no pun intended. I am interested to see some developments with these micronuclear plants that they're building. I think they just put some up, was it in Montana? One of them can power, what was it, something like 400,000 homes. And these new nuclear sites, nuclear plants, they go up in a relative hurry compared to the old plants, which could take something like 10 years to build. And plus, apparently, they produce less nuclear waste. So I think there's some interesting developments on the nuclear front. And I know, the Greens They don't want oil and gas. They don't want nuclear. They seem to think, maybe hydrogen is the answer, except hydrogen. What do you need with hydrogen? You need pipeline. You need pipeline, and they don't want pipelines either. So, yeah, I think in the short term, certainly, and for the foreseeable future, it's oil and gas. And then beyond that, for those people that are concerned about CO2, it's nuclear. It's pretty clear to me. What do you say?
Well, I'll tell you what, we are the Saudi Arabia of coal, and we have techniques to convert coal into natural gas underground without very little pollution whatsoever. We have scrubbers that generate about 99% pure energy with very little, particulate matter. They just don't want to use the science. They're denying it. Anything that comes out of the ground, they want nothing to do with. They want to go solar and wind, and it's just not there. I was driving this weekend. I saw a bus that was driving on 100% pure, pollution-free hydrogen cells. So evidently they can just package these hydrogen cells into the vehicle. I don't know how they create them. I'll have to do some research on that, but our energy solutions are there if we can just get past the politics.
Exactly. All right, Don, thank you so much for the call. Always good to hear from you. Let's see. Let's go to west of the Rockies. Valerie's in Nevada City, California. Is that right, Valerie? Nevada City, California.
Correct.
All right. Why is it Nevada City in Nevada? Excuse my ignorance up here in Canada.
We're so close to Nevada, too, so it's kind of...
Oh, I see. Okay. It's on the border. All right. What do you have for us tonight, Valerie?
Well, I can't tell you how shocked I was when, I think his name was Joel. I just happened to turn on the radio. I listen to you every night, coast to coast every night. And I heard him saying that he saw, I think he saw a UFO that was darting around in the sky, making really like 90-degree turns and that sort of thing.
I think that was a trucker up in Michigan. Was it Don? I can't remember his name. But yes, that's right.
I don't remember his name either, but I wish he would contact me somehow. If there's some way he could contact me, I am blown away. It was about 40 years ago. I saw exactly what he described. I mean, every word he described was describing it how I would have described it. It looked like a little, I didn't hear the very first sentence or something. Mine was a little white dot. It looked just like a star, like a shooting star. A little white.
That's what he said.
Perfect.
That's what he said.
But that's what mine looked like. It looked like a shooting star, literally. I happened to be looking up at the sky, and I saw what looked like a shooting star, and the shooting star comes and makes like, it did more than a 90-degree turn. It was going more backwards. So like a smaller turn than 90, like a 45-degree turn, which is like even more drastic. You know what I mean? And then it zoomed, and it was not any curved turns whatsoever. They were all like straight line turns, and it could do anything it wanted at any moment. I mean, I watched it zoom past me, and then it did that really quick, really sharp turn, and I was just like staring in shock. And it looked just like a star out there. And then it like zoomed in another dramatic different direction and then halted, like frozen, not for, and boom. It took off like into the stars, and it was all really sharp turns. And the whole thing probably lasted, I mean, it was freaky. Almost everything he said is how I would describe it. It lasted about 3 seconds. I wasn't expecting anything. I was just standing in my backyard and happened to look up. I was about 12 years old. And I don't share this with anyone. I mean, as years have gone by, there's occasionally been someone, that I would share it with, and they'd say, oh, really? Anyway, what do you want to do tomorrow? Or something just not even take me seriously at all or give me any attention or anything. But it changes your whole life because you see something like that and there's no explanation for it. This isn't something I could have, it was a shooting star. No, a shooting star doesn't do that. I mean, it was something, I don't know what it was, but it was something completely unexplainable and not from anything anyone has ever told me about ever before this person that I heard on the radio tonight.
Right, so that happened 40 years ago. Have you seen anything since?
No, zero. Nothing.
Really? Interesting.
Nothing. 40 years ago, and I've never seen anything ever since.
But it changed your life. How so? How has it transformed you?
How could it not change your life to realize there's something like that?
No, I understand that it has, but I'm asking you, how has it? How, in what way?
Well, it just made my whole concept of reality change. My whole experience of what we think is reality, I have a very, it kind of opened my mind, like, wow, this is something that is not, and up until that point, was not in my understanding of existence, you know what I mean?
Right.
And all of a sudden I'm seeing it, and I'm going, okay, well, that kind of changes my perception of reality then, if I was so firmly thinking I understood it.
But aside from changing your perception of reality, how about the way you behave or conduct yourself or live your life?
I mean, it's just, of course you live your life differently if all of a sudden you realize there's something out there like that. That's a different, I don't know what it is, some sort of different whatever it was that I didn't think existed, and now I know it does exist, and of course it makes me, I mean, it's really just changes. I mean, it didn't make me start doing something daily that I hadn't done up to that point, or go to UFO shows or anything crazy like that, because it's just something I actually saw and experienced. And then just I mean, one thing that was kind of strange is my mother told me the next day, because this was in Big Bear, California, is where it occurred when I was living there, and she went, quote, down the hill, because it's a mountain community, and so she drove down to the larger, area of San Bernardino or whatever, or Riverside, and she worked down there, and the next day after work, she brought back a newspaper article or something that said something about someone who had recently seen, or like some big thing about UFO sightings in the area, and that was like, what, an hour away from us, or less than an hour, 45-minute drive down the hill. So that was that one thing, but then that was it, and nothing ever happened in my life since then that, I mean, it's just something that, just like the person was talking who called in, of course you're never the same after seeing something like that. How could you be? It changes your whole...
No, I can hear it in your voice, Valerie. 40 years later, and you're still filled with awe and amazement. Great to talk to you. Thank you so much for checking in. Let's go to the first-time caller line, and Chris is in Indianapolis. Chris, good morning. Welcome.
Hello, Richard.
Hi there.
So I've got a UFO story, only it's not a UFO. I was coming out of work one night, it was midnight, I think, about 10 years ago, with two coworkers, okay? And we look up, and there's a hole in the sky. That's the only way I know how to describe it. About the size of the moon, but remember the kaleidoscopes we used to look through as kids?
Oh, yes, yes.
It was like that, only it was totally dark. It was like gray and black shapes. But everything around it, the rest of the sky was not real. And the hole in the sky was the most real thing I've ever seen.
When you say a hole in the sky, do you mean a hole in the cloud ceiling?
I guess you could say that. It was just, I don't even know. I've never heard anybody else describe something like this. I've looked on the internet, and I don't know. That's the only way I know how to describe it. And the other two people, what got me, okay, the other two people I was with were like, wow, it's not going to get you, But I was like, are you guys seeing the same thing I'm seeing? So they left. They went home. And I stood there for a good 15 minutes. My neck was getting sore. I looked up. I tried to take pictures of it. It never showed up on my phone, which, it was a long time ago. Phones weren't like they were now. But so I thought, well, if I go to the other side of the parking lot, let's see if I can still see it, which I did. I did that. I couldn't see it. Then I went back to the same spot where I was at, and it was gone. And then the weird part was like a couple days later, I think it was on the weekend, when we came back to work on Monday, I asked them, both of them, I was like, can you believe what we saw? And they were just totally oblivious, like it was no big deal. It was the most amazing thing I've ever saw. I don't know if it was a time portal or what it was. I was just curious if anybody else has ever seen anything like this.
Right, and there wasn't a craft associated with it. It was just a hole in the sky, or maybe the cloud cover. And are you certain? I mean, I have seen some very strange cloud formations. I've seen holes in clouds with the sun coming through that looks very peculiar. Very strange, very rare weather phenomena that can cause things like that. Are you sure? Have you ruled that out?
Positive. This was a perfect circle. It was. That's the only way I can describe it. It was a perfect circle that was just, and it was real, and it made the rest of the world around it seem like it wasn't. I mean, but what got me is the memory of my friends at work. That they were like oblivious, and so anyway.
Well, there are people that just kind of go through life that way. Nothing seems to faze them. Nothing seems to amaze them. I don't know. They're just, I don't want to say dead inside, but they're just, they're a different breed, let's put it that way. I mean, if I saw something like that, I don't care if it was a UFO or if it was a weather phenomenon. I would be awestruck.
It sounds like it wasn't flying. It was just there, you know.
Too bad you couldn't get a picture. Darn those old phone cameras. Next time, be prepared. All right. Thank you so much for the call. Great to hear from you again. I think we can squeeze in one more here on the wild card line. Jim is in Los Angeles. Hey, Jim, welcome.
Hi, Richard. I'm glad to talk to you. I call myself UFO Jim. George Norrie played some of my songs a few years ago on his program, which I really appreciated. I wanted to say I've been a contactee for 30-some years. And
how did it start for you? How did it start?
With that?
Well, when was the first contact? How did it start for you 30 years ago?
It was in the late 70s, early 80s, somewhere around there. And it was north of Chicago. A lot of my relatives live in Chicago. I'm calling from Los Angeles. But it looked like a star, like trillions of light years out in the distance. But it was only a quarter of a mile distant. And it was at night at 4 o'clock in the morning. And it was quite a shock to me because it approached. This all happened within just a couple of minutes. And it approached, and I could see the form and everything, and it stopped. It approached me at a 45-degree angle. And then just before it pulled away, it left at a tremendous speed, just fantastic, back at a 45-degree angle into space. I don't know if you've seen those videos of UFOs over the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, but there was a white explosion kind of just before they shot back up into space to where there are other smaller red lights dancing up there. But this also had this tremendous illumination just before it took off. I'm sure it has to do with their power source and whatever. But I wanted to caution about just people generally over the entire Earth and disclosing maybe too much about this UFO phenomenon, because I know that it's real. And like the lady that was talking just a few minutes ago, and also the truck driver that I talked to earlier, I was affected greatly by it. I wrote a lot of music. I wrote a song called Zoltron under UFO Jim on YouTube, and people comment to me about it. But I wanted to say really quick, too, that I really appreciate your taste in music. It's wonderful, some of the people that you play.
Fantastic. Well, I'm glad you enjoy the music, Jim. Great to hear from you. Hope we can chat again sometime. Appreciate the call. Thank you all for your calls. That's it for me. I'll be back tomorrow night, of course, for George Norrie, George Knapp, Lisa Lyon, Stephanie Smith, Tom Danheiser, Dan Galante, Chris Burrows, Tim Banal, Ryan Stacy, and in Brantford, Ontario, Scott Park. I'm Richard Serra. Thank you for your ears and your voices, your beautiful voices. Until tonight, So long for now.
Day this week, so I'm going to give you a break, Rick. Here are the top 5
I'm not a father.
Oh, you're not a father? Just go with not a father. Yep, makes perfect sense. Number 5.
Father's Day freebie. Dads get a free dad ball cap just by showing up June 20th.
Number 4.
Get a cool action camera for dad when you earn 500 points on your rewards card the 21st or 22nd.
Number 3.
Celebrate Dad's Day at Good Times Cafe. Get a juicy bone-in ribeye, sides, and dessert for one low price.
Number 2.
Take Dad to the Lazy River. It's open.
And the number 1 reason to go to Morongo.
Spoil Dad or yourself at Same Spa. Get the massage you desperately need and deserve.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Conveniently located along the I-10. Less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Morongo. Good times.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Good morning, my early rising friend. I am Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer, custom home builder, custom home designer. Hey, it's just about 6 o'clock. That means for the next 2 hours, I'm going to be here with you as a friendly voice in your morning and your personal guide to turning your ordinary house into an extraordinary home. This weekend, it's all calls all weekend long. The lines are open now, so give us a call, jump into the queue. 833-2-ASK-DEAN. 833, the number 2, Ask Dean is the number to call. I would love to talk to you about what's going on with your home. It all gets started in just a couple of minutes, so stay tuned and welcome home. This is KFI and KOST HD2 Los Angeles, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. My dad taught me to tell stories. He always starts with the hook. For example, he'll say, "So do you need a new pair of shoes?" And you go, "What are you talking about?" And he'll say, "Well, apparently a container ship sunk off the coast of Oregon, and you go along the beach now, and you can pick up all the shoes you want. I mean, sure, they're wet and salty, but hey, free shoes."
Happy Father's Day from KFI.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Usually means cleaning or painting, repairing, staging. So let me ask, what if you could sell your home for a fair price without any of that hassle? What if the buyer never had to walk through your house? What if you could sell that house without even an appraisal, paying no commission, paying no fees? And what if you could get cash and get it fast, and I'm talking within 10 days or less?
That is exactly what directbuyers.com does. They will buy your property now. Directbuyers.com is a local family-owned business. It's been in business since 1986. Do not sell your home until you talk to directbuyers.com. See what they can offer you. They give you a reasonable price, and they'll give you an honest, no-obligation offer. Go to directbuyers.com, directbuyers.com, call 844-242-SELL, 844-242-SELL, visit directbuyers.com. Kfi Am 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Good Saturday morning to you, my friend, and welcome home. I'm Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer, custom home builder, custom home designer, here live with you like I am, excuse me, frog in my voice this morning, here live with you like I am every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 and Sundays from 9 to 11. Here to be an advocate for you as you wrestle with the construction process regarding your home. Also a design mentor. Oh yeah, because design matters most when it comes to planning out and changing or altering or building your new home. And then just to be your friend, to be with you there as you take on the noble work of turning your ordinary house into an extraordinary home. And a noble work it is. All right, the team is here. Misty is standing by to take your calls. It's an all-calls weekend. We're now officially in Father's Day weekend. Father's Day is tomorrow. The heat wave has, for most communities in Southern California, has broken, and we're going to see like reasonable, normal, warm temperatures today. We're hoping. I think that's going to be the case. So Misty is here to take your calls. The number to reach me, let me just throw it out there right now because we're going to start as soon as possible. 833-2-ASK-DEAN. 833, the number 2, Ask Dean. The phone lines are open right now, so you can call in, jump into the queue, and maybe you and I can talk about what's going on with your home today. What's today's show about? I have no idea. You're in charge. I don't know if that's a good idea. No, it is. Yeah, it is. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, give me a call. If you've tried calling in the past and we just haven't got to you because, you know, and that always happens, then today is a great day to increase your odds. Per chance, you and I get to speak about what's going on with your home. Anything. Design question, DIY issue, construction concern, anything and everything in between. I want to talk to you about your home. 833-2-ASK-DEAN. There you go. Sam is on the board, making sure that everything, that the trains are all running on time. Andrew Caravella in the newsroom. Good morning, Andrew.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, good. Had a little technical glitch, but I'm here now.
All right, great. You know, glitches happen, especially, it seems, the earlier in the day.
I agree.
There's a glitch happening in me right now. I'm trying to overcome it. That's all right. It's time for a, may I suggest that we all enjoy a sip of a warm beverage. Here we go.
What is that, tea?
That is coffee, my friend. That is, I forget what blend this would be. You know the blend? We don't know the blend. It's Old Town Roasting. It's part of our subscription coffee serve. This might actually be a House Whisperer blend. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's just magic in a cup right there. All right. Shall we dive right in? I think we should. I think we've got some calls on the board, so let's just go for it. Albert, welcome home.
How are you? Good morning.
I'm well, sir. How are you this fine morning?
Fantastic, fantastic. Dean, you have I've heard a lot of talk about going solar and having solar panels at home, and I've been approached many, many times by the salesmen in the industry, and I really don't know what are the questions to ask, what to look for a company. I know you have a sponsor, and I just wanted to get some baseline of what to look for, what to ask, how to compare about going solar at the house.
All right, that's a really good question. I think the safest thing that you can do is, well, you've got to feel comfortable with a solar company, first of all. And solar companies are kind of notorious for having relatively aggressive salespeople, as far as just like, here, this is it. This is all there is. There's nothing else to discuss other than what I'm laying out in front of you. You always have to do your research. So how do you approach dealing with a solar company? One of the things you want to look for is a warranty, because you want to make sure this company is going to be around with you in the long term. So warranties are important, not only on the equipment itself, but on the service. And so this is one of the key warranty questions that you ask regarding solar, because it's one thing, all of the equipment should come with some kind of manufacturer's warranty for however long that lasts, right? But that's the gear. So let's say, and it's usually for a lot of solar companies, it's just the panels. But what if something has gone wrong in relationship to the panels and the connectors, or the panels and the microinverters, or any other element of that system? You want the entire system warranted, which means that you're not cash out of pocket for the panels are being replaced at the cost of the manufacturer, but the labor to put them back in and change them out, that's on you. You don't want that. You want a complete comprehensive warranty. The next thing that you're looking for is a company that is really going to understand your needs in regards to coming as close as possible to zeroing out your annual energy bill. Every company you've talked to, I assume, has requested of you the last year's worth of energy bills to the power company. There's two reasons for that. One is they have got to figure out a system that will mount to your roof that will come as close to matching that as possible. They also, it's kind of like playing the Price is Right when it comes to solar. They have to come as close as possible without going over. And by not going over, what I mean is the power companies have got a lock on this right now. It's kind of it's a little selfish from a business perspective, but you're not actually allowed to put enough solar on your property to double or triple your use over the last year. They want you to just match it, and that's all, because they don't want to be competing with you as a energy provider. So it's kind of a raw deal. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I got a question on that. Sorry to disrupt, but with the use of solar, electric cars coming up, my use will go up. I got 2 electric cars right now, and it doesn't make sense to just go with what I have right now. If I get more cars for my kids, then my electric use is going to go up.
Yes, you're absolutely right, and that is actually one of the. This is an area where you want to get a sense from your solar company, they can go to bat for you and get some variances in place. In fact, it happened when I got solar on my house. We do not have an electric car yet, but our system was calculated and then estimated with the power company and submitted for approval for our total energy needs for the year, plus, I want to say 10 or 15% to accommodate for future electric vehicle charging. And so there are allowances that your solar company should be fighting for you as an advocate with the power company to get the highest possible allowance. And by the way, Albert, it is not a lock for life, okay? Meaning that if your power consumption needs go significantly up for any reason in the future, you can resubmit an application to the power company and have a justification for adding a panel or two, adding whatever else needs to happen. So you're not locked in forever. You can always add to your system as long as your power needs justify it. So, but it's nice and it's convenient right up front, and it's a way of discovering a really good solar company who's going to go to bat for you. The last thing I would tell you, my friend, is that when it comes to straight up the gear, it's probably the most confusing part, because there are a lot of companies out there who are like, it's American made, or it's California assembled, or there are a lot of different terms about parts and where solar panels come from. And my experience has been, ultimately, none of that really matters. What matters is that you've got a highly rated, high output solar panel, or options of high output solar panels. And every solar panel worth its salt is a panel that you can go online and look at reviews, just like cars or any other appliance. So the solar company that you're working with, you say, okay, what kind of panels are you recommending for me? What do they look like? What's their output? What's the company? And, if somebody hands you something like, oh, these are LG 320 panels or 370 panels, or you just take those and you go online and you find the reviews. You will be able to figure it out, I promise you, if you do your due diligence. But as in all things, you've got to take control of the reins, do a little research so that you know what you're talking about, and just let go of the other stuff, the kind of the fly-by-night deals. You're only looking for one thing on solar with your house, and that is net zero. That is at the end of the year, the amount of energy you have produced is equal to or greater than the amount of energy you would have paid for from the power company. So that at the end of the year, your power bill is net zero. That's the only thing that matters. Plus, the kind of gear and the length of the warranty. Albert, thanks for your call, buddy. It is an all-call Father's Day weekend. More of your calls when we return. The number to reach me, 833-2-ASK-DEAN, 833, the number 2, Ask Dean. I'm so glad you joined me this morning. So much more to come. You're listening to Home with Dean Sharp, the house... the house whisperer. Andrew Caravella has the news.
L.A. County's seasonal adjusted unemployment rate held steady at 11.1% in May, matching the revised rate from April. The Portland Police's rapid response team have all quit the force after one of their fellow officers was indicted, and authorities in Missouri have arrested a naked man who was terrorizing a neighborhood early Thursday morning. We'll take a look at a crash on the 10 freeway next.
So you're ready to build your dream kitchen. That is fantastic. What's going to be your first move? I think it should be a totally free in-showroom consult with my friends at the kitchen store. That means you're going to get two things right out of the gate. You're going to get the